Hello to all our wonderful listeners. Welcome back to Furry Stories, the podcast that takes you into the world of our pets. A world filled with adorable tales, perplexing but cute problems, and heartwarming experiences that will make your day, with a very peculiar story that will have you asking, wait, is that even a thing? When we think of pets, what comes to mind? A dog wagging its tail excitedly when we come home? A cat purring contentedly as we scratch its chin? These behaviors are cute and pretty standard, right? But the world of pets is far wider and more wonderful than we often imagine. Some animals have quirking habits or unique behaviors that leave their owners scratching their heads in bewilderment. And today, our topic is one of those wonderfully weird behaviors. Get ready for the rabbit who plays dead every time there's a loud noise. Yes, you heard that right. A fluffy, adorable bunny who is ready to faint on cue, channeling an award-winning actor every time something unexpected happens. Just how chaotic, hilarious, and endearing can this story be? Let's find out together. Listeners, today's story comes from a woman named Mindy who had just decided to become a rabbit owner for the very first time. She did all her research, prepared the house, the cage, and the best quality food. Finally, she welcomed a new member to her family, a mini lop rabbit with floppy ears and fluffy white fur with brown patches. She gave him the very chic name of Oscar. The first week went by beautifully. Oscar was an absolutely lovely rabbit, well-behaved, a little bit cuddly, and fond of rubbing his chin on Mindy's hand to claim her as his own. Everything seemed perfect. And then, the tragedy, at least in Oscar's eyes, began. It happened on a Saturday, as Mindy was getting ready to do a big clean of her house. Her weapon of choice? The vacuum cleaner. The moment Mindy plugged it in and pressed the on button, the motor roared to life. Vroom! In that split second, the unthinkable happened to Oscar. One moment, he was happily munching on a carrot, and the next, his body went completely rigid, his eyes wide with shock, and then thump. His little body flopped right over onto the floor, where he lay motionless, his back legs stretched out stiffly towards the ceiling in a rather alarming pose. Mindy's heart nearly stopped. She screamed, immediately switched off the vacuum, and rushed over to Oscar's side. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind. What's wrong with him? Did he have a heart attack? Did I just kill my baby? With tears welling up in her eyes, she gently scooped his limp body into her arms, completely panicked. But then a miracle occurred. Less than a minute after being picked up, Oscar, the rabbit who had been as lifeless as a vegetable just moments before, slowly opened his eyes. He blinked a few times, looked up at Mindy's face, and then started to squirm as if to say, "Okay, human, you can put me down now." The moment Mindy placed him back on the floor, Oscar stood up, shook his fur a couple of times, and casually hopped back over to his carrot to continue eating, as if nothing had happened, leaving Mindy standing there in utter confusion. At first, Mindy thought it must have been a fluke, but then it happened again. When she accidentally dropped a pot on the kitchen floor with a loud clang, Oscar fainted. When she let out a loud sneeze, achoo, Oscar fainted. Even when her phone rang unexpectedly, Oscar was ready to drop to the floor and strike a dramatic pose at a moment's notice. Mindy started to figure it out. This wasn't a medical issue, this was a performance. Oscar, her sweet little rabbit, was a master of drama, an actor who deserved an award for Best Leading Performance, and so she gave him a new nickname, Oscar the Drama King. Listening to Oscar's story, you can't help but chuckle at his dramatic flair, right? But beneath the humor lies a fascinating question. Why do rabbits do that? Are they really faking it, or is there a scientific reason behind it? In the second segment, we're going to put on our fluffy detective hats and solve the mystery of this peculiar behavior. First things first, what Oscar is doing isn't playing or faking in the way a human would. It's actually a deep-seated survival instinct that has been programmed into rabbit DNA for millions of years. This behavior has a cool scientific name: tonic immobility. To understand this, you have to remember that in the wild, rabbits are classic prey animals. They have enemies everywhere: wolves, foxes, birds of prey, snakes. Nature, therefore, gave them several defense mechanisms: long ears to detect faint sounds, eyes that provide a nearly 360-degree view, and powerful hind legs for sprinting away at high speeds. But what happens when running isn't an option? When a rabbit perceives a sudden and severe threat that it can't escape from, like being caught by a predator or hearing a deafening noise that causes extreme shock, its body enters a final, last resort defense mode. And that mode is tonic immobility. In this state, the rabbit's body becomes rigid, its heart rate and breathing slow down dramatically, and its muscles tense up, making it appear to be dead. This is actually a very clever trick in the wild. Many predators lose interest in prey that's already dead. They might loosen their grip or put the rabbit down to deal with another threat. And that brief moment is the rabbit's chance to come back to life and use every ounce of its energy to bolt to safety. So for Oscar, the sound of the vacuum cleaner, the clang of a pot, or a loud sneeze is no different from the roar of thunder or the sound of an approaching predator. His instincts command his body to shut down immediately as a survival tactic, even though the threat is just his loving owner cleaning the house. Now, some of you might be wondering, how is this different from a bunny flop, when a rabbit throws itself on its side because it's happy? It's actually very easy to tell the difference. A bunny flop is a sign of pure relaxation. The rabbit's body will look soft and loose. They might dramatically fall onto their side or back, but they look completely content. Tonic immobility, on the other hand, is a state of tension. The body will be stiff, the eyes may be wide open, and it's clearly triggered by shock and fear, not relaxation. So while we might find it amusing, for the rabbit, it's a genuine state of extreme stress and terror. Now that we understand that Oscar's play acting is actually an involuntary fear response, the next question is, how did Mindy learn to handle her little drama king? In this segment, let's look at how Mindy's life changed after this particularly sensitive new member joined her family. At first, Mindy was both amused and concerned. But after she researched and understood the reasons behind the behavior, her amusement turned into a determination to make Oscar feel as safe as possible. And this is how Mindy adapted to life with her drama king rabbit. 1. Operation Reduce Terrifying Noises. Mindy started paying attention to which sounds triggered Oscar the most. The vacuum cleaner was number 1 on the list. So before vacuuming, she now moves Oscar, along with his favorite toys and a snack, into her bedroom and closes the door, giving him a quiet, safe space. When she needs to use a loud appliance in the kitchen, like a blender, she does the same thing. This helps reduce sudden, startling noises. 2. Creating personal safe zones. Mindy bought a few fabric tunnels and cardboard houses and placed them in different corners of the room. This gives Oscar a place to retreat to whenever he feels scared or hears a strange noise. It worked wonders. Instead of fainting in the middle of the floor, now when Oscar hears something unusual, his first instinct is to dart into his tunnel. This gives him a sense of control over his environment. 3. Turning scary sounds into good things. This technique requires patience. Mindy started with less intense sounds, like her phone's notification ping. Every time the sound went off, she would calmly offer Oscar a tiny piece of his favorite treat. The goal was to create a new association in his brain. That sound equals, I get a yummy snack. After doing this consistently, it has helped reduce his startle response to certain noises. Mindy's life has changed quite a bit. From being someone who might move about her day with normal clatter, she's now more gentle in her movements, speaks in a softer tone, and is always aware of her surroundings to avoid causing another fainting spell. When friends come over, she gives them a heads up. Just so you know, we have a drama king rabbit, so please be quiet or someone might faint. It's become a cute, funny quirk known among her friends. The bond between Mindy and Oscar has deepened immensely. She no longer sees his behavior as a problem, but as a part of his nature that she needs to understand and care for. Mindy's love has transformed her home into the safest possible sanctuary for one very jumpy little rabbit. And that was the full story of Oscar the Drama King Rabbit. It's a tale that's cute and funny, but at the same time, it teaches us so much about the nature of our pets, doesn't it? This story shows us that the quirky behaviors we might find amusing or even annoying in our pets often have roots in their natural survival instincts. Taking the time to learn about and understand the nature of the animals we care for allows us to provide them with the right kind of care and create an environment where they can feel truly safe and happy. Oscar was so lucky to have been chosen by Mindy, who was willing to adapt her own life for his well-being. And that is the heart of being a pet owner: love, paired with understanding and responsibility. It's about accepting them for who they are, instincts and all, and learning to live together happily. For any of our listeners who have a pet with a strange habit at home, try looking at their behavior with a new sense of understanding. You might just discover an incredible story hidden behind their quirks. Thank you for tuning in to Furry Stories today. I hope Oscar's story brought a smile to your face and a little warmth to your heart. Join us again next time for more adorable tales from our four-legged friends. Until then, goodbye.